Behind every sale is a person. Behind every team is a culture. Behind every organization is a network. Behind every success story is a relationship that made it all possible. Do you truly understand your client? Do you truly understand all their strengths, their weaknesses? Are you listening to who they really authentically are? In this fast-paced world of tech and AI, it is so easy to get distracted by the numbers. But here's the catch. It's about the people you connect with and how you invest in them.
84% of B2B decision makers start their buying process with a referral, not a cold call. That means that the majority of your business is not coming from cold strategies. It's coming from relationships.
Relationships aren't just part of your business, they are your business.
This business is built on trust, and trust is built from relationships, but nobody's teaching you how to actually build them.
And it starts with building an authentic relationship with yourself, because the way you connect inwardly shapes how you connect outwardly.
And relationships are how you build a business that can thrive in any market condition. And it's built on 5 key pillars. Be authentically you, understand them, invest with intention, leverage moments, and deliver extraordinary value. When you do this right, you don't just create real relationships. You create clients that last long beyond the transaction in what I like to call the relationship trifecta: referrals, repeat business, and retention. Retention, where clients come to you and then they never leave. Repeat business, where they buy from you over and over again. And the holy grail of referrals, where they don't just do business with you, they love you so much that they go tell all their friends. The smartest business owners I know aren't out there chasing leads. They're building relationships.
The reality is, it's not just luck. It's the result of building meaningful connections and relationships, creating opportunities that others are still waiting for. And like Chris, to them, it's not about checking boxes. It's not about quick wins. It's about cultivating lasting connections that lead to long-term growth. And yet, even though we know this as salespeople and business owners, in this fast-paced world of tech and AI, it is so easy to get distracted by the numbers. It's so easy to get distracted by how many deals we close, how quickly we can move things through the pipeline. But here's the catch. In all this hustle, we overlook what's truly driving long-term success. It's not the tech, it's not the tools, it's not the speed. It's about the people you connect with and how you invest in them. That's the real game changer. I know that transactional business may be trackable, but friends, it is not transformational. And in the keynote speaking industry, with competition on literally every corner, I understand we get caught up in the number of holds we have on our calendar, the number of gigs we book, how quickly we can push out our marketing message. And all these things are important, but they can't replace the foundation of deep, authentic connection with others. Because I know relationships aren't just part of your business, they are your business. If you're not investing in them, building them, and nurturing them, you're missing out on the most important ingredient for your success. It's not about the transactions. It's about the people. And that's how we have a long-time sustaining business that we can rely on. And this is why I've created the Build framework. Because here's the thing. Everyone knows it's about relationships, but no one's teaching you how to build them. Relationships aren't just a feel-good. In my 20-plus year sales career, I know there's actually an art and a science to them. So today, we are gonna be authentically you, understand them, invest with intention, leverage moments, and deliver extraordinary value. Be authentically you. I have a firm belief you can't have an authentic relationship with anyone else until you have one with yourself. I've suffered from female hair loss my entire adult life, and I hid behind it for years. And I made the courageous decision one day to pivot to wearing human hair wigs, and I decided to come out publicly and share my story with the world. My life was forever changed. Why? Because I started showing up authentic and real, and people took note. My sales business doubled and tripled. I'm getting on stages I never imagined I would be on before. And it turns out people want to do business with humans, and humans aren't perfect. So starting today, I want you to think about one thing that you're hiding behind. In one way, you're not showing up as who you are uniquely designed to be, and I want you to start sharing that with the world. The next is we have to understand them. It's not enough just to be us. We have to truly seek to understand others. I'm going to take you guys back to a moment that changed my life. I was 17 years old. I was just a few months out of high school, and I walked into my favorite store, and instead of walking to the junior section, I headed for maternity. And I remember standing in the maternity section, looking through maternity shirts, taking my extra large sweatshirt, trying to cover up my stomach, and feeling the judgment, feeling the people around me staring at me. Now, whether they were really judging me or I was just judging myself, the judgment was real. The fear and the insecurity. At that moment, I wasn't just a teenager anymore. I was a teenage mom. The things that went through my head, will I amount to anything? Did I just ruin my life? What am I going to do with my future? Sitting back wondering, what are my friends saying? What is my family saying? But most importantly, him. My boyfriend at the time, who had just graduated high school with me, is headed off to the University of Oklahoma on a Division I college baseball scholarship, literally going to pursue his dreams, and I'm left standing in the maternity section trying to hold on to mine, questioning if I've ruined it all. And you're probably wondering, okay, this is a great story, but what does this have to do with business? What does this have to do with me? And I truly believe this has everything to do with you. This has everything to do with business. Because every day, we are faced with 17 moments like I had. Every day in boardrooms, on appointments, in front of your clients, you're faced with showing up as a different version of who you really are. You're faced with deciding, am I going to show up as myself, or am I going to show up as the person that the person in front of me wants to be? You're faced with challenges and setbacks. Every single one of you in this room has been faced with challenges and setbacks, and yours may not have been at 17. Yours may have been at 35. Yours may have been at 52. You may be having one right now. So I want to ask you, every single person in this room has had a 17 moment. Every single one of you in this room has had a moment that put you back on your heels. Raise your hand if you can think of one right now. Every single one of you in this room. Anybody want to share one with me? Anybody brave enough to share one with me? Make your friends in the room feel a little less alone? Shout it out if you're willing. I'll wait.
Surviving a house fire.
Surviving a house fire. Oh my goodness. Absolutely. Anyone else? Come on. I see some people want to. Okay, I promise I won't make you share. But the reason I ask you that, the reason I want you to dig deep is because we've all had those moments. A house fire, rebuilding from the ground up. We've all had these pivotal moments in our lives and our careers where we've questioned everything. And let's face it, can we not all agree that real estate is having a 17 moment right now? Anybody with me on that? Real estate is literally having a 17 moment right now. Our industry has been put back on its heels. We've actually been knocked down, right, Amanda? And we're trying to get back up. And the fear and the worry and the questioning who we are we relevant? Are we still going to exist? Is NAR still going to exist? Have any of you in this room thought those things? Have any of you in this room asked yourself those questions? Right? Real estate's having a big 17 moment right now. We talk about high interest rates, low inventory, a new change in our White House, a settlement that hopefully is approved next week, new rules, new contracts. I think many of us are left questioning, what's our real value? Why am I here? How do I need to show up? And then there's these questions, right? Our clients right now are hesitant to buy and sell. Anybody feeling that right now in the market a little bit, right? It's creating frustration for us because we have to make deals to make a living. We don't exist if we don't sell real estate. We don't pay our bills. And then, anybody feeling a little bit of competition? Anybody feeling the competition fiercer than it's ever been before? We've got the highest number of realtors we still have ever had and the lowest inventory we've ever had. We're fighting for fewer listings. And even though you guys are a small market, you also have a small number of houses, right? And then it feels really hard to stay true to ourselves in this market that demands constant hustle. Anybody feeling that a little bit? Like it feels so hard to stay true to who we are in this market that is requiring constant hustle, constant sales. We're left wondering, who are we? Who are you? Have you ever asked yourself that question? We're at a pivotal time. It doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to feel this way. These 17 moments are what define you, and this 17 moment in real estate will define each and every one of you. Each and every one of you in this room is going to be defined by what just happened in 2024. I truly believe you're going to be better for it. I truly believe you're going to rise not only above it, but you're going to rise through it. You wouldn't be here if you didn't have some core belief in yourself and who you are. Does anybody believe in themselves in this room? Raise your hand. Yeah? Okay, good. That's the first step. The thing I've learned about my entire journey is being who you are and believing in yourself and showing up authentic. It isn't just a personal virtue, it's a professional asset. That day in the maternity section, I was left thinking, Who am I? What am I? Am I a teenage mom who's going to be defined by that the rest of my life? Or am I going to rise through it? Am I going to show up authentically as who I am, not only as my best personal virtue, but as my best professional asset? And I promise if you lock in with me today and you really listen, you're going to see themes of this, of where you can apply these principles and these strategies to your life to show up as a better human. Because here's what I know. A more confident, authentic person is a more confident, authentic salesperson. The person that shows up on those appointments as a real, true version of who they are is going to win every single time. But then we have this word, authenticity. Does anybody even know what it means? And even if you do know what it means, the person next to you thinks it means something completely different. Anybody agree with me? I truly believe, even though it's one of my favorite words and it's one of my biggest values, it is the most overused and underexplained word. Here's what I think authenticity is. I think authenticity is your inner truth combined with your outer expression. Who you really are on the inside actually shows up on the outside. The thoughts you have actually are shared with candor and with care, okay? When people say authenticity, vulnerability, they think it's just spewing everything everywhere. No. Have you ever heard the saying, the best thought is an unexpressed thought? I don't mean when I say authenticity and vulnerability and show up real to just share every thought that comes into your head. What I mean is that who you really are on the inside is actually what you express on the outside. And if every single one of you in here showed up like that on appointments, and showed up like that in front of your fellow realtors, and showed up like that in board meetings, imagine the difference that this world would be. Imagine the different effect that you would have on this world. Anybody feel like it's a little crowded market right now? Anybody having a little trouble standing out? Raise your hand, be honest. Only 2 people. Wow, the rest of you are just crushing it. Okay. Just want to make sure there's a few more of you in there like me, because let's face it, this is a huge struggle right now. How many of you in this room have a license to sell real estate in the state of Kansas? Raise your hand. How many of you have access to the multiple listing service? How many of you know how to take pretty pictures of houses? Only a quarter of you know how to take pretty pictures. How many of you know how to hire a great photographer? There we go. You must be the photographer for all of Topeka. He's like, maybe. Well, hopefully you're getting some great pictures. How many of you understand your contracts? Great. You're all the same. Every single one of you in here is the same. And do you know that's why the consumer is having trouble understanding your value? Do you know that's why the consumer is having trouble differentiating you from every other realtor? Do you know the one thing that you all are different from each other? Who you are. Literally, the human that you are. Except for, do I have any identical twins in here? Okay, any identical twins? You have a little bit more complicated situation in this because you have a DNA that is very similar to someone else. But unless you're an identical twin, none of you in here are exactly like anyone else. The problem is you're showing up just like every other realtor. And when you own your authenticity and you own who you are and you show up as that person on every single appointment, you are going to win. Because guess what? The clients are looking for someone they can trust. The clients are looking to someone that's relatable, that they connect with. And your authenticity and who you are is your differentiation in this market. The next thing that authenticity does is it creates customer loyalty. Any of you in here get a little confused sometimes when some realtor keeps getting business over and over and over and over again and they're not even that good? Raise your hand, be honest. You all have that. You all know, you can think of somebody right now. You're like, dang, how the heck do they keep getting business? You know why? Because they're creating a connection and a relationship with their people that's almost unbreakable. Because they're creating an authentic, real relationship with the people that they know. And I've never seen anything more in my business or my career create more customer loyalty than showing up as exactly as who I am. And then, how about referrals? Anybody want more referrals in this room? Every single one of you better raise your hand, because if not, I'm not referring. I know who I'm referring to Topeka. Okay. I know who my friends are when I have someone moving to Topeka. I didn't know anybody from Topeka until today. This is what drives referrals. When someone refers you to someone else, do you think they say, you know what? They have great access to the MLS. Do you think they ever tell another client about your pretty pictures? Or do they tell their friends and family about your personality, about who you are, about how hard you're going to work for them, what an excellent communicator you are, that you're fun to be around? That's what they're going to tell others about you. That's why referrals happen. Referrals don't happen just because you have a license, just because you closed escrow with somebody. They happen because of who you are. They happen because of the connection that you made with the client. And friends, those connections do not happen unless you show up real and authentic, unless you show up as the human that you are designed to be. I've learned this fact, that authenticity builds trust faster than any marketing campaign ever could. Because I don't know if you've realized, but we're living in a trust economy. And friends, trust is the new currency. Trust is the new currency that's making the world go round. Do any of you in this room refer somebody you don't trust? No. Do any of you refer a product you don't trust? No. You want to build trust with your clients? Authenticity is what makes it happen. My son was a professional baseball player for 9 years. He decided to retire at 25 years old, very young. Unfortunately, if you know anything about baseball, he caught what I call the minor league injury bug. And once you start getting some injuries in minor league baseball, it's very hard to recover from. And I watched him do something in his 9 years of professional baseball. I watched him show up as the real human he's always been. I watched him build relationships with everyone, from the coaches to the front office staff to the groundskeepers, even to the mascots. This kid was friends with everybody. He was real with everybody. He was funny and lighthearted and charismatic, whether it was on the field or in the dugout. And when he decided to retire from professional baseball, he immediately went into professional player representation. He's a Major League Baseball certified player agent. He is one of us in the baseball industry. And at 25 years old, with zero experience, he immediately got a roster of players, literally poaching players from other agents. It all culminated this year with the Dodgers winning the championship. Sorry, Royals fans. And he had 2 players rostered on the World Series championship roster. He is 27 years old now and had 2 players with his name next to them on the World Series championship roster. With zero experience, the boy doesn't know anything about negotiating a contract, although I will say, being his mother, he's been a fierce negotiator his entire life. I'm telling you this story. Why do you think that happened to my son? Because of this. Because he spent 10 years authentically building relationships and trust. He didn't step into this new role as a brand new player agent. He stepped into this role with 10 years of relationships and trust by showing up authentic and real. And so when new agents come to me, how many of you are brand new in this room or a little bit newer in the business? Okay, when new agents come to me, I want you to listen. When new agents come to me and say, but I don't know anything, but I don't have any experience, you have the most valuable tool you could ever have. You, who you are, your opinions, your values. That's what's going to make you succeed in this super crowded market. And as I've gone through my journey, and we talked about that 17 moment, and you've all had the 17 moments. We all raised our hands that we've all had a 17 moment. I took myself through my journey, and I've taken myself through multiple journeys through my life, applying a framework that I now call fake. And you're probably like, Barb, you were talking about being real and authentic, and you want me to be fake. No, it's simply just a really easy way for you to remember how to show up real and authentic is by not being fake. And I'm going to walk you through this today, and I'm going to give you specific examples about how you can implement this into your life and your business today, so the next appointment you go on, you exude confidence. You show up real. You show up vibrant. You don't show up stressed out, frustrated, worried about the settlement. Is this buyer going to sign my contract? Are they going to pay me? Is the seller going to understand all our new rules? Is this deal even going to happen? Am I going to beat out the 3 other agents that they're interviewing? Yes, you are. If you employ every single bit of this framework, you absolutely will rise above everyone else.